That I get the last slot because I think what my speech kind of puts everything together, what everybody said this morning. So it's kind of interesting how sometimes meetings get their own theme. So this morning I'm doing this speech on leadership style, and let me tell you, I did want to do this. This speech has been trying to be spoken for about the past 3 months, and every time a speaking duty came up, I either was out of town or got rid of it. And just procrastinated and ducked, and so here I am doing the speech, and it was very interesting. It was a very interesting experience, and I'd like to share that with you this morning. So it's Sharon's leadership style, or how I work with individuals and groups. When you take this path, and they used to have all these ribbons up here, and the other thing is that as we do these speeches on the pathway, we start building ribbons. If you've ever worked on how this leadership works, there's different aspects we have to make these ribbons, and this is part of the teamwork, is to do the manual speeches. They're not called manual speeches anymore, but these speeches that allow our club to become a distinguished club, which I think they still do, don't they? They just don't have our ribbons up. So I did the pre-test that asked you how you feel about it, and I was everything was 1 and 0s because I didn't feel good about this at all. And then I took my leadership questionnaire and found out that I have really 4 styles of leadership combined. The top one being democratic, it was like 22 answers I answered that way. Affiliative, coaching, and altruistic were all 19. They were all equal. And I think democratic was pretty equal too, so they kind of like blend how I work with people. So I just wanted to find a story to weave in through this speech about my leadership style, and I started thinking about all the things I've done. I was a youth leader advisor for 9 years. I ran the magazine sales at my daughter's middle school for 9 years. I've done a lot of leader. I don't see myself as a leader, and so I had to really think about, what do I do with leadership? And then I remembered over 10 years ago, and there are not many people left in this program, this meeting from this group from that 10 years ago, even 15 years ago, our group was our club was at the lowest I've ever seen it. The farmland and the vacuum beach people, it was mostly men trying to get points for their getting up higher in their business. They all were retiring, so all of our top echelon speakers and experienced Toastmasters were gone. Sprint had the fallout of everybody got pink slips, and all our Sprint people left. So there were only like a few, like 5 or 6 people who'd been in for at least 5 years. And then we had a huge number of new people trying to get their speaking style up and confidence up so they could go find jobs. It was just really a rough economic time and really hard on our group. And I was one of the few people that was there the longest at that point. That had, like, Brad and Mark were still there, but they had been leaders already. They didn't want to do president again, so they came to me and asked me to be president. And I was like deer in the headlights, like, me, I do not know how to lead. I don't want to do this. But I stepped up and I did it, and I learned a lot about myself. And so I was going through the memory of what it took for me and what the group was like. I feel my strongest strength is affiliative. I do love to make people work as a team. I love harmony. I like creating personal relationships. I hate conflict. I avoid conflict like the plague. And so this is what we really needed: teamwork and harmony, personal relationships reestablished. There's a lot of conflict, and there was a lot of stressful situations where speakers would not show up. Toastmasters would not show up. I mean, it was really tough because nobody knew what they were doing. So my democratic style kind of kicked in here because I like everybody part of the situation. Consensus making, allowing others to take the lead. If someone had an idea, I said, go with it, do it. Motivate by participation. I had to try to get everybody to participate. Even if they weren't on the board, I had to participate with ideas. And collaborate and communicate was really important. But the one thing about this style that really didn't work was we had too many new people, and they didn't know what they were doing. So to ask them to do something was impossible. They did not understand how they could help. So my 2 other supporting styles came in coaching. Now, I'm not a mentor. Doug, you're a great mentee, but I'm not a mentor. That's not my forte, but coaching is different. I took the group and said, okay, let's do speeches about what, toast, there's different speeches. There used to be speaker manuals of how to be a Toastmaster, how to be a president, how to be a vice president, and we did those kind of speeches. Instead of the regular speeches, we just used a lot of skill building speeches to teach everybody. I like working with individuals in group, and I like seeing and looking for people's potential. And even if they don't see it, I can see it, and I put them in their uncomfortable zones and made them do things that they didn't feel they could do, because I was been put in my uncomfortable zone at that point. But I was thanking everybody. Anybody did anything, I was always thanking them and showing my appreciation, which built a positive culture and a high morale. It helped individuals. We tried to make, even though we were a team, trying to make everybody an individual and work individually but as a team. And then I led from behind. I feel I really led from like pushing other people I was serving them and helping them be better participants in the organization. And then I motivated, hopefully, by being the kind of person treating people how I would want to be treated, by kindness, compassion, understanding, forgiving for things that may not have gone right. So putting it all together, I didn't want to do this speech in the beginning, but I was really so happy that I did, because I learned a lot about myself, that I am a leader, and I do it every day. I do it with my family, I do it with my friends, I do it in a group situation, and even in they're called sanghas, as I go through my yoga therapy class, I work with the people that were students, were equals, and I try to see people as equals. I try to hear people and listen to them and hear what they say. If I see a potential in somebody, even if they're just a friend or family, I try to help them, coach them, give them assistance, give them guidance to reach their potential. Positive statements, gratitude, really helping them build their skills to help them reach their potential. But then I finally tried to work with everybody, see everybody as a drop of water. We're all drops of water. But when we work together, when teamwork and harmony, we become either a river or an ocean that become a beautiful, life-giving thing. And so as I finished this speech and finished this project, I really, really did enjoy it. And thank you for letting me present it to you.